Most Tuesdays are just Tuesdays, except at Buffalo Wild Wings, where Tuesdays are Wing Tuesdays. But now even Wing Tuesdays aren't just Wing Tuesdays, because Wing Tuesdays are half-price Wing Tuesdays, which means your boring Tuesday that became Wing Tuesday now costs you half as much. In case you're confused, we have half-price Wing Tuesdays. We do it for you. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Prices and participation vary. See participating locations for details. Void where prohibited.
Blog Talk Radio.
You are listening to Unpopular Popularity with Andrew Powell, John Stutsman, and Kelvin Bradley here on SouthBeachTimes.com.
All right. Hey, guys. It may be a little surprising to you that Mr. Andrew Powell is not here. This is Bryden Proctor of arcmedia.org, ARC Media. I am here with John Stutsman. Unfortunately, Andrew is out tonight. Kelvin is also out tonight, so I have culturally appropriated their show for the evening. Hey, John, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. Another great night in the alt-right.
Just another nice evening on the right here. Now, guys, this might end up being a total shit show. Hopefully, it's going to end up being very good. But I have Andrew's notes here. I have Andrew's stack, and we've got a fantastic 2 hours for you ahead of your life. I don't know if you're listening live or if you're listening on recording, but I promise not to fuck it up on purpose. So the first thing that we need to talk about, because this is the biggest thing, I think. This is what everybody's talking about. Tucker Carlson was talking about it. All of the left was talking about it. Some of them apologizing for it. Was Milo Yiannopoulos, who I'm not a huge fan of personally, but at UC Berkeley he was doing his Dangerous Faggot tour, where he goes around and just tries to trigger leftists, and that's the whole deal. But there was riots. People threw a fucking tantrum to the amount of around $100,000. So I'm not a big fan of that, but there is a clip of Milo on Tucker Carlson.
Hi, Tucker. How are you? I'm interested in what happened exactly. So tell us. Our understanding is you were set to give a speech at UC Berkeley tonight. You knew there were going to be protests, and then violence erupted, and you had to leave. Is that correct? And fill in the blanks for us.
Right. Well, we knew there would be protests from the social media activity. We knew from the police. I have a pretty good sense of when things are going to get a bit rowdy, and we knew that UC Berkeley was going to be a problem, not least because they have a big free speech problem. Obviously, it's a liberal campus, so they hate any libertarians or conservatives who dare to express an opinion on their campuses. They particularly don't like me. And so this evening we got into the building, started preparing for the show, and people started arriving in black clothes and masks. They were clearly carrying concealed shields and weapons and things. And then stuff started being hurled at the building. There were rocks being thrown, various other things being thrown at the building. Eventually, the ground floor was breached, and I was evacuated.
Who evacuated you?
My security detail. I have an excellent team of Navy SEALs, various other people, and some of the police from the local area.
Tell me if I'm misreading this, but this looks like the nightmare scenario. This looks like political violence designed to squelch opinions the perpetrators of that violence disagree with. Am I reading it correctly?
That's exactly what it is. And what's particularly scary and should be particularly troubling is it not only happened on an American college campus, supposedly in the land of the free, these are these places where you should be able to engage with different ideas, places where you should be able to hear speakers. And students who come to my talks who don't necessarily agree with me but just want to hear the other side, they were prevented from doing so this evening by violence from the left that is terrified of anyone who they think might be persuasive or might be interesting or might take people with them. I am not, a scary far-right, neo-Nazi as some of the posters claim. They put those things on posters to try to legitimize their own violence against me and against my supporters. Instead, I'm just a sort of libertarian, gay, Trump-supporting provocateur who likes to, present interesting arguments. And we have good, fun shows with huge sold-out audiences, very, very popular, and probably the hardest ticket on American college campuses. Students love me, but there's a small loud this left that just cannot tolerate anyone popular on campus who does not subscribe to their own crazy views.
I mean, I guess the point isn't what your political views are. I would be every bit as outraged and afraid if I disagreed with your views, and I'm sure I do disagree with some of your views. That's hardly the point. The point is your political views were squelched by violence, and the irony, of course, is that people calling you a Nazi were using violence to intimidate you into shutting up, which seems like...
Well, of course, these are people...
Right.
No, this is exactly the same thing happened when my book was announced. My book shot to the top of the Amazon bestseller chart within 24 hours of being announced, and people were saying they were going to burn calling me a fascist. They really don't appreciate the irony of that. And of course, if you don't agree with my position, you should be really worried about people on your own side trying to squelch this stuff with violence. Because my whole thing is, the left is profoundly antithetical to free speech these days. Does not want to hear alternative points of view, and will do anything to shut them down. My point is being proven to me over and over and over again.
So that was Milo Yiannopoulos on Tucker Carlson. John, I mean, what was your whole take of it? I obviously did something on my show about it. I want to hear your take on the violence at UC Berkeley and what that kind of says about the state of our nation.
You know what? Every time I seen those pictures, I just kept thinking, and we're the deplorable ones. That's what I kept going through my head, and we're the ones that are deplorable. There was nothing short of deplorable what they were doing. I don't care if you agree with the guy or not. It could have been, an ultra left leaning liberal shit show get together. I don't care. You don't go and cause damage. I mean, protest peacefully, whatever. You have that right. I'm not going to go against that. That's the right that we all have. But to do what these guys were doing, totally uncalled for. I don't care what the situation was.
Well, John, I think you're forgetting that they very peacefully, limp-wristedly threw those rocks through the Starbucks window and bashed up those ATMs.
Of course, they were very
Were
they limp-wristed when they were beating up the Trump supporters? Were they limp-wristed when they were spraying them with pepper spray?
I don't know. Ask Richard Spencer, but yeah, I think they were. No, they're pussies, man.
If you listen to that whole Tucker interview, though, I watched it when he was on there. I love how
he was on 2 nights in a row.
I love how Milo said the thing that he was upset about most is that he didn't get to wear the headdress that he made. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was the night after. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and people, people know my views. Maybe not on this platform, but on mine, they know my views on Milo Yiannopoulos. I personally don't like the man, but it really is telling how we are seeing the left claim to be anti-fascist, and then I don't want to say using fascist ways of doing things, because honestly, fascism was a response to Marxism. I'm a little F fascist. I'm still a libertarian, but I'm a little F fascist, not a big F fascist. But
sure.
I like that they can't, like you said, appreciate the irony that they are saying, like, oh, the whole reason we're shutting you down is because of your speech. But my question for you, because I know how I feel on it, I don't know how the audience feels on it, but when is too much too much? Is this a deciding point? Do we need to start buying an extra gun?
I mean, maybe. Here's the thing that's really sad about the whole deal is that there was all these innocents involved as well, and the police just stood down, did absolutely nothing, and let chaos just ensue the entire area. That was the problem. So in that case, yes, maybe we do need to buy an extra gun, because if you're in a place like that, obviously the police are not going to protect you.
Well, you know that the mayor is actually being investigated by the FBI now.
Yes, I did see that, which is rightfully so. Rightfully so. Yeah.
Well, this is Trump's America now, and this type of thing will not stand. It is chaos.
No.
We have no room for anarchy in this country. We are a nation of laws, and he is the law and order president. He made that very clear. I know that the left is just especially pissed that finally somebody ran for president and is coming down and actually doing everything that they said they would do. And they, that was their depression thing, was like, There's no way that he's actually going to do what he's saying. But the thing is, it's going to happen, and we do need law and order in this country. It's hopefully going to happen very quickly. But the thing is, we need right-wing safe squads. We do need people to protect individuals like Richard Spencer that are going out there that whether or not you like his views, he doesn't deserve to be punched in the face. If you like my views or not, I mean, I am a very open and vocal white nationalist. That doesn't mean I dislike other people. I need to preface that, but yeah, I don't deserve to get punched in the face because I'm not punching people in the face. The left is actively doing that, though. They are punching people in the face. So when is it – I think that sends a clear message, at least in my eyes, but to you, when is it, what's it going to take before we do have roving teams of basically brown shirts that are going to protect our people when we demonstrate?
Well, okay, brown. Okay, I love your humor there by saying brown shirts. See, here's the thing. I don't know, and the point was made it was on Tucker or some other show or something this past week that this is what the organizations like the ACLU were designed for, to protect people and protect their rights. However, it's been concerned for the left. So now the ACLU is only going to protect them. So we are right for a group to protect the right side and our rights and liberties as well. Now, as far as brown coats going around, I think how you describe it may be a little bit off kilter, but I think it is time for a group like that to come up because obviously what we have now is not going to work for us any longer. Unless
you want to get punched in the face.
About that?
Well, unless you want to get punched in the face, and unless you want to get punched in the face. And that's the thing, too. And that's why we keep telling our guys, stand down, don't react, don't engage. And you know what? It worked during the Civil Rights Movement, but I would compare the white advocacy movement, the alt-right movement, the identitarian movement, whatever you want to call it, I would compare it to the Civil Rights Movement in the fact that if you look at our people, guys like Identity Europa and American Vanguard, that are going out there wearing suits. They look very dapper. Yeah. They're very nice, peaceful, nonviolent individuals, and they're getting the shit kicked out of them. I would compare that to the same thing as the Civil Rights Movement. And
absolutely.
It's a strong, analogy to make, but I think that it is true. But at the same time, at what point do we say enough is enough and we need to preserve our safety on a very physical sense? So I don't want it to come to that. I don't want it to come to that, but they are spreading these things saying punch a Nazi is the right thing to do and all of that, and we're not Nazis. They think everyone that voted for Donald Trump is a Nazi, and that's not even everybody that voted for Donald Trump is as hardline as I am. It's like I am part of fringe politics. I know that. But if you ask, you're like, oh, are you an extremist? It's like kind of, I think my views are right, but I know that they're fringe. That they are not just punching Richard Spencer in the face. They are punching basic bitch conservatives in the face.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
Pepper spraying them and things. So when do we say?
Here's the thing. We can't consider ourselves radical. That's the problem. They have backed us into a corner of saying ourselves that we're radical, when actuality is we're not that radical. You could say that you're fringe, Bryden, and that's fine because you probably are a little fringy, but the ideas that Trump sets forth are not radical at all. But the left has backed us into all saying that we have radical ideas. They made us feel like we have radical ideas. So we say these are radical ideas, but they're not radical ideas. So I'm very careful when I talk to people and they ask me about that. I'm like, my ideas aren't actually radical. They're actually common sense ideas.
But you're not answering my question here, John. And we'll do that and then wrap up and move on to the next thing here because I really like this. But when is the time that we need to implement right-wing safe squads? Which is if you come over with some pepper spray, if you come over with a bag full of piss or something like that, we're going to beat your ass. It's
happening now. Here's the thing. I think it's happening now. Our answer to them going too far was Donald Trump. Okay, so now our continuous our continuous answer to them, their assaults and stuff becoming aggravated even more so, is to continue to back Trump and to further make sure that he gets his agenda pushed even further. So, we're fighting them with the best tool we possibly have because we are in power. Whether they like it or not, we are in power. So we're going to get those groups one way or another, whether it be we're going to shut down the groups on the other side like the ACLU to balance things out, or we create our own. But it's happening now. We're taking all the steps necessary. It's rough right now in the beginning because they're going to fight fire with fire. They're going to fight back times 10 whenever we throw at them. So we elect Trump, and now they go crazy, hog wild like this because they're so it just blows their mind. Eventually, they're going to get tired of it, and they're not going to be able to shut down Trump and everything he does, and normalcy will eventually take hold. It's not a quick thing. We knew electing Trump was not going to be a quick thing. We knew on day one it wasn't going to be all rainbows and butterflies. There was going to be a lot of protests and riots and whatnot. We knew that going into it, but it's going to get better. It's going to get better. That's all I can say. It's happening as we speak, Bryden. The changes are happening as we speak to where either those groups are going to form or they won't be necessary.
I'm really hoping that that's the case. Now, moving on to the next thing here, because I like this. I think it's awesome. White House shunning CNN. President Donald Trump and his administration are reportedly refusing to appear on CNN due to their penchant for spreading fake news. So we know CNN is bullshit. But, members of the White House told Politico, also a bullshit site, that they are deliberately shunning CNN because they are only focusing on, quote, places where we think it makes sense to promote our agenda. So Politico is garbage, but CNN is not the thing. This is Luke Impressa. Spicer said he's pushed back against the notion that they are giving CNN the cold shoulder, and he has taken several questions from the network, but he did say that he wasn't going to sit around and engage with people who have no desire to actually get something right. I think that is totally valid. I mean, this is the Luke Impressa. This is the lying press. This is the lying media. CNN is the worst of the worst. Not even the left even likes them anymore. They are left-leaning, but then I talk to lefties, and they're like, they gave Donald Trump too much coverage during the fucking, whole campaign, so we don't like him either. I guess my question for you, John, what the fuck? Is that a good or a bad thing? That they are totally getting just pushed out. They are a dying network. They're being bled dry. I mean, if you don't have White House access, you are not going to be a news channel. So
no,
I don't know. What do you think, John?
It's a two-sided coin. I'm a bit torn because I hate CNN. I loathe them. They are the epitome of fake news. We know this. So, I think them losing access to the White House will just ruin them, and I think that's probably what they deserve. However, I do think we need to tread carefully because we don't want to lose the freedom of the press as well, because then things like what we're doing is get shut down.
But that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Because, Obama did the same shit with Fox News. This is not a new thing.
True.
But the only thing that's new is the outrage.
No, I agree. Like I said, I think it's warranted with CNN. Let me phrase it that way. I think it's warranted for CNN to be given the cold shoulder. Absolutely. We talked about this last week on the show, how apparently, and I never did look any more into this, but apparently the Trump administration had asked, I guess, the EPA and a couple other, the Department of Agriculture, to not talk to the media. It was a media blackout.
Right, yeah, there was a gag order, yeah.
Yeah, and things like that concern some people. I get it. I
get that it concerns some people, but the thing is, I don't care about the people that it concerns.
I know, I get it. It's a slippery slope, because if they do come in power again, then they're going to be like, this is what you guys did, we're going to do it again times 10.
But that's what we're doing with that's what we're like they are so pissed right now. They're so upset about all the things that Donald Trump is able to do, and it's like you realize that that's stuff that Obama implemented, right? Like the 200 and something that were able to that were arrested that are facing 10 years in prison. You know that law came from Obama. The thing is, they thought we president now, and they thought it was going to last forever because apparently they didn't know that they could lose, and it looked like they couldn't lose because we left with all of that white guilt. We had all of that so much, and Donald Trump is a signal to white people. White people went out and voted for Donald Trump. And the thing is, we are still the majority, and we are not going to die, so please treat us fairly. That's all we're asking. We're not Nazis. We're just saying.
Bryden, you have a caller on the line.
Okay, yeah. Put the caller through, please. Hi, caller. Are you there?
Caller?
Yes. Hello. How are you both?
Oh, hey, Arden. What's going on, buddy?
It's Mr. Arden Rain.
Nothing. Heard you guys were having a call-in show. Thought I'd join in.
Yeah, this is Ardent Rain of arcmedia.org. He's one of our producer, editors, something or other. He does a lot of good work for us. So, we were just talking about the CNN getting shunned by the White House. What are your feelings on this?
Beautiful.
Good, bad, slippery slope,
Beautiful.
or no?
Artistic in a very psychedelic way. I never thought I would see this. I never thought I'd hate CNN either over time. I remember when I was in frickin' high school and I would put this on all the time because I wanted to feel like the main character in a movie, constantly listening to the news. I never really started suspecting it until much, much later. Definitely happy to hear that the station that openly says that the BLM kidnapping wasn't a hate crime won't be allowed at the White House. Yes, that's definitely.
Yeah. But
is
you
it
have
a
the fear, though.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Well, is it a slippery slope? Is it a slippery slope? Because John has the fear that this is a slippery slope to instead of like destroying the Lügenpresse, it is squashing the First Amendment entirely.
Well, now let me clarify that though, Bryden. I absolutely think the shunning of CNN is warranted. So you can't twist that. I absolutely think it's warranted. We have to tread carefully going forward, because that can be a slippery slope when you start messing with the press. That's a stupid argument, John, because that's saying like, stepping on a roach is like on the path to boiling dogs alive. Like it's two different things. I get it.
Yeah, I would argue two different avenues here. The first is that honestly, this media press pool, the White House press, it's not a genuine right. It's a courtesy. Two, honestly, do we even really need the press other than a very, very few outlets to really ask the president hard questions? Honestly, you wouldn't need more than 3 or 4 there. And also,
I disagree with that.
But yeah, in that same regard, the press itself, the press in quotes, is dying. It's a dinosaur media. I mean,
it is.
But that's not. Go ahead. Sorry,
no, and here's the thing.
You're getting my blood boiling. Go ahead, Ardent. Finish it out, and then I'm going to respond.
Yeah, no, it's just that as the press dies out anyway, as all these different formats die out, maybe we let some new ones in. But I certainly don't think banning CNN of all places, of all companies, is going to lead to anything negative or lead to a pattern of behavior for anything negative. If you're using CNN as your template of what to ban, then I think you're doing good.
Yes. Oh,
see, I agree with you. Hold on, John, you're next. But I agree with you. I'm sorry, my blood was boiling there for a second when you were talking about like banning media is fine. I don't view CNN as media, but I do like you said, bringing new ones in. Like a friend of my show, Right to Bryden, Lucian Windrich, is now a White House correspondent. for the Gateway Pundit, and it's gatewaypundit.com. Lucian's a great guy. I talked to him just today. They're even going to be doing Skype questions here soon. Not in the funny slang thing, but like actual through Skype for places that are not able to get a correspondent out there. They're going to have questions on Skype for the president, which is good. Legacy media is dying. That old media is dying because like places like ARC and South Beach Times, we're the new media. We are the ones that are actually bringing honest reporting because we're open about if something is an opinion piece, we say it's an opinion. Or if it's just a news piece, we say clearly this is right-leaning or left-leaning. I don't think that's that big of a deal. John, your turn.
Yeah, Bryden, you don't mean arcmedia.org, do you?
No, we definitely mean
John, you Italian asshole.
Arcmedia.org.
Arcmedia.org? Really? Arcmedia.org. Are you sure you mean arcmedia.org, a website that people can visit frequently that has right to Bryden podcast?
Okay.
But don't forget,
go ahead and drop this caller. John, your turn.
Okay, so here's the thing. No, I agree with you guys. I agree with you. And I was going to bring up the point. You kind of made my point for me. That I don't think media as a whole, as far as like a news organization, that's not dying. Just the way it's being delivered. I love the fact that they've added those virtual press passes so I think that's great. And I think that's a way to counterbalance things. So I want to be clear. I don't think suppression of the press is happening. I don't think that's what's happening. That's not what's happening with CNN. CNN deserves every bit that they get. They should not exist as a news organization. It's more like entertainment. You just have to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Like in general, it's just a general statement. And some people were upset about that. And I think we should calm their fears. Like, hey, we should point out the fact that, hey, now they're actually allowing virtual press passes, so people can Skype in their questions and organizations that have never had an opportunity to be there at a press conference can now virtually be there and be a part of it and ask questions. That's beautiful. That's the opening up of press. So that's what I'm saying. I just think we need to be more clear to people, more open as a community that may fear that's what's going to happen, to let them know that's not what's going to happen. And I think maybe the Trump admin has not played up those points as well as they should have.
That's fair enough, Arden. You got anything else left to say? I think he actually did get dropped. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Anything? You got anything else on this topic, John, before we go to the next one, this Detroit thing?
No, I think generally we agree. I do. I just think we need to do better communication in this admin.
All right. Well, so Detroit man said Trump's travel ban killed his Iraqi mother. The thing is, that's not fucking true. It's just not true. A local Fox News affiliate is reporting that the Detroit business owner who told the network that his Iraqi mother died because of President Trump's executive order on refugees and immigration was lying. They also said that John Stutsman is typing really loud. Jesus. Anyway, I'm going to say that again. So this guy from Detroit, he said that his Iraqi mom died because of Trump's order of halting immigration from 7 countries. That was a lie. It was actually, she died several days before the thing was issued. This is Mike Hager. He's a U.S. citizen. He reportedly fled Iraq during the Gulf War and was an interpreter during that time. He made headlines after claiming that a temporary confusion about the admission of green card holders had forced his severely sick 75-year-old mother to remain in Iraq instead of flying back to the States to receive emergency treatment. He claimed she died in an Iraqi hospital because of that, but it was a lie. This is fake news. This is fake news that was totally – I heard this story. I heard the story on the radio over here in L.A. and it ended up being a lie. I mean, how much more of this are we gonna see? Because it was like, I forget what the word is, but that's how it was found out. The hammam or whatever. It was like, no, that's not true. What's the point in even making it up? You're gonna get caught. You're always gonna get caught. These people, they always get caught.
I mean, you want me to say? Because I agree. I mean, there's nothing. It's just ridiculous. These people are stupid. It's a complete outright retard. Like, you just have to be a retard in order to do this. I mean, and it's fake news. And the left were all over it until they found out that, oh, wait, his mom actually died back in January, way before Trump signed the order. Like, then they just totally dropped it, and it was crickets about the whole thing. And I'm like, really? So
yeah, it's almost like Muslims fucking lie.
Yeah, well,
who would have thought?
I just think it's funny. It's fake news for them when it doesn't fit their narrative, even if it's a fact. But God forbid we declare fake news on something that actually is fake news. I mean, it's just a shit show. It really is.
Well, the whole real mess is that this happens time and time and time again. We saw that with all the hijab pulling bullshit. The thing is, it's almost like Muslims lie. Who would have thought? Muslims are liars. It's even the time that I talked to that Muslim on this show, who's totally based as fuck. I said, like, how do I know this isn't Takia? And she goes, you don't. It's like, I don't trust Muslims as far as I can throw them, and I'm a pretty small little manlet, so I can't throw anybody very far. But it's like every fucking time. He's like, oh, I didn't make anything up, and he was on heavy medication and all of that. It's like, no, you're a fraud. You got found out.
Yeah.
When are we going to just admit that? I don't know. It is Muslims, and they are liars. This is what they do. They consistently do this. It's not only just the left doing this, but specifically Muslims making this bullshit up. Because it's one thing with like a crap swastika in a bathroom or something, and it's like, hey, what you doing, Rabbi? It's these people make themselves victims, and then they create these things so that they can be victims. But we're seeing it. We see it a lot with the Jews all the time, but especially now Muslims. It is this whole anti-Trump, anti-white BS. How do we combat it, and what's the best way to spot it?
I don't know what the best way to combat it is, because the problem is that when you try to make yourself the victim, then it gives you power. Because you always have the bleeding heart liberals who will be like, oh, we're so sorry, and they give you everything you want. So that's why you have Muslims doing this, because they know they're playing into the people that they know will help them and give them whatever the hell they want. How you combat it, man, that's a tough question. I don't know. You just we need to not have them here. I mean, the extreme vetting is going to help. The travel ban, if it gets reinstated, is going to help. They just shouldn't be here. That's just the thing. But as long as we have a liberal society, a bleeding heart left, that's going to give people that make themselves victims, whether true or not, anything they want, then you're going to have the problem.
Well, is our society going to move further right as we shift the Overton window? I mean, it looks like we're doing that. We're shifting the Overton window. I think you're right. There's so much, there's so much apologists for Islam and these Muslims, and it's like they consistently prove to be a bad culture, and then they do these things and like, okay, great, so you just made it up, this hijab pulling, this, all of this, it's fake. It's fake, and they're tricking the media, and they're doing it. The media loves it. The Lugan Press eats it up. I could send them these things, and they would run it. And I'm going to say right now on your show, I am in the process of putting a fake story into mainstream media. I will tell you when they run it, if I get anybody to ever run it. And then it'll be on ARC Media, and I'll go, ha-ha, idiot. But I've got some ends, and
It's in the process of doing it. They are viciously anti-white, viciously, and I don't know if we're able to. I just don't know if we're able to really do much about it. To be honest with you, you know, just like you put an Al in your name, it's like Al Bundy. You know, now I think of him, I'm like, oh crap, that's ISIS. You know. Yeah. I think it's gonna be fine. I don't know. John, you want to move on to the next thing because I'm just getting all worked up. My freaking blood's boiling. It's only a half an hour and we're through like half of this. I never thought for sure we'd get through this.
Okay, just calm down just for a second.
I'm mad.
Okay, Bryden. I know, but you know what? Donald Trump is our president, and it's going to be okay. You can't. Rome was not built in a day. Donald Trump cannot do it. Even though some days it seems like he's trying to do it all in one day, the guy is working harder than any president I've ever known. He's getting a lot done. He's sowing the seeds now. We'll reap the rewards later. You just got to be patient. You know, he's doing all the hard work now, and it's going to be rough in the beginning. We're going to get there, man. Chill. It'll be okay.
I can't just chill. I'm so mad because you've got people actively working with the lying media over here. You know,
but there's soon to be no more. So we won this battle.
I can't do it. Because, I mean, they'll pick up anything, dude. And these Muslims are lying on top of it. I don't understand why anybody believes Muslims. It's like, dude, there is a doctrine that they have that says, hey, no, it's totally cool to lie. That's fine. And people are still like, oh, no, they're wonderful.
Yeah, no, I know, and I think we're getting ready to have someone come on here in a second now. That maybe can shed their view on this. But yeah, no, it's sickening. I'm tired of it, you know. But it is what it is at this point. You've got to deal with it.
You have a caller.
All right, throw the caller on. Hi, caller. What's going on?
Hi, this is Liu Yizhang. Hi.
It's Ching Chong Ping Pong.
Indeed.
Hey, what's up, Asian Ayla? How's it going? Asian Ayla is a nickname. Ching Chong Ping Pong is obviously a nickname as well, but he is somebody that writes for us over at Arc Media. How's it going, man? What do you think about this whole fucking the goddamn Muslims, or whatever else you'd like to talk about? But I'm still just mad about Muslims. My blood boils over Muslims.
Okay, well, I think you were talking about Zakia, right? When you before I came on. So it's true that is mostly a doctrine that's developed among Shiites, and Shiites are not the type who blow stuff up. So there is that. On the other hand, I have heard that Sunnis do basically practice taqiyya without having an articulated theology of it. But another thing that is true is that John Locke, I'm not a Lockean, but let's say that liberals are, that they generally like the thought of John Locke. John Locke speaks in his Letter on Toleration about what kinds of people can be tolerated and which kinds can't. The kinds that he names as unable to be tolerated in the Commonwealth that he's considering, that of Protestant England, is number 1, papists, number 2, and number 3, atheists. And he says part of the reason is that you cannot trust a papist to keep faith with Protestants because Protestants are considered to be heretics. And according to papal theology, you don't have to keep faith with Protestants. And also, the Pope can depose whatever king he considers to be opposing the church and stuff like that. So, in that case, given that kind of theology is being taught in the Roman Catholic Church, Locke says, it's sensible to exclude Roman Catholics. Likewise, he says, people who are Muslims basically subject to another kind of foreign power, not in Rome, but the Grand Mufti in Constantinople. So while some of the conditions have changed now, I think, since there is no Grand Mufti in Constantinople, that's standing at the doors of Vienna trying to pound them down. We do have Salafis and people like that, and I think that it is sensible to explicitly exclude aliens who are Salafi Muslims and to say no to funding from Saudi Arabia of schools and mosques and other institutions.
So you're obviously in favor of what they're calling the Muslim ban, which we know isn't actually a Muslim ban, an outright Muslim ban. But you're obviously in favor of that.
That. But I would say that actually, for the safety of both Christians and some Muslims, maybe even most Muslims in the States, it probably behooves us to begin considering at least some kind of religion-based discrimination. In the matter of
I mean, I obviously don't disagree with you. But can you please explain, why it's, ultimately fair? I think that most of the people that listen to this show are civic nationalist, my Constitution types of dudes. Can you can you give a quick rundown on this? Because I know you're a smart fellow.
Oh, yeah. So I think generally ordinary Muslims are pretty different from Salafis. Salafis believe that in general, I think an Orthodox traditional Muslim believes that Sharia law is not something that you're going to just introduce and impose on a nation that's not already Muslim. So until you're about the mark of, approaching 40 or something, Sharia law is not going to be much of a thing. Now, of course, in a place like Dearborn, Michigan, that might be more of a thing because you have a sizable Muslim population that actually has Muslim neighborhoods and stuff like that, demographically. But the Salafi can be quite different. They believe in basically a revolutionary overthrow of non-Muslim governments.
That's why, because of the different types of Muslims, most of which are extreme, is why you would say we need to have a religious-based, discrimination.
I would actually say there's not much point in excluding Shiites. So if Shiites are coming in from Iran and Iraq and Syria and Lebanon, I don't think that's a problem. I mean, somebody like Assad coming in as an Alawite is just not going to cause much trouble. Neither is an Ismaili, for that matter. But I think if someone has ties to the Muslim Brotherhood, or he is an imam who is not from one of the traditional madhabs of traditional Islam, but rather is the whole.
All right. Well, real quick before we let you go, we kind of derailed. What do you think about CNN getting the fucking cold shoulder from Trump? Good or bad?
Caller, you there?
Nothing?
Ching chong.
All right. No, he got dropped, I guess.
Okay.
But anyway, okay, yeah, no, we're going to move on to our next thing because we're going to keep on trucking along. We're 43 minutes into this thing. We're almost halfway through there, guys. This one I think is an interesting one because this doesn't really affect my life that much. But could the Trump administration be the one to finally legalize marijuana? We've got a clip on that right here, I believe.
One obvious concern is that the United States Congress has made the possession of marijuana in every state and distribution of it an illegal act. So if that's something is not desired any longer, Congress should pass a law to change the rule. It's not so much the Attorney General's job to decide what laws to enforce. We should do our job and enforce laws effectively as we're able.
So you can check out the whole article over there on southbeachtimes.com. But, during the U.S. Attorney General's nominee here over there, I believe he's been confirmed. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but
no, you're correct.
Mr. Sessions, he's been confirmed. Mr. Sessions, in his confirmation hearing, it was this month, said to Congress that if states prefer to keep the possession, sale, and distribution of cannabis legal, then Congress should pass a law that makes it legal at the federal level. I am very much don't step on that damn snake. I think that's fine. I voted for recreational marijuana here in California, and I thought that we had an agreement that they weren't going to raise my freaking cigarette taxes by $2, but that, of course, passed because California loves taxes. But I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with people just smoking pot. I can't not be fine with it. I get drunk every day. It's like no different.
I agree. Like, I still think it's kind of more of a states' rights type of thing. I think the states should be able to decide. As the most part, I think states can decide the age for tobacco sales now. I think 18 is a federal limit, but states can adjust that as they see fit. I think states want to do it by all means. If you get to a point where most of the 50 states have it legalized, then of course federally it should be. I don't think the federal government needs to be penalizing anybody, any states, or need to be enforcing it.
That's currently kind of like what Sessions said. He goes, if that's something that's not desired any longer, Congress should pass a law to change the rule. We're obviously moving towards legalization of marijuana. I mean, I think that it's not a big deal. I'm not against it. I don't smoke pot myself. I don't. But if somebody tells me, I think many people would be surprised about the amount of people. I know I was when I was younger and actually smoked pot, about the amount of people that totally smoked pot. I mean, it was like, there's tons of 50, 60-year-olds that smoke pot. Half the people you work with smoke pot. It's just people like marijuana, and it's not a bad thing. I don't personally enjoy it, but, it's not a bad thing, and it shouldn't be, criminalized. This thing should not be criminal. I see nothing wrong with it. It makes you lazy. It makes you a degenerate, but, who cares? I just see no real problem with it. So I like that Sessions, that neo-Nazi KKK member Jeff Sessions, is fine with, is fine with making marijuana legal. It's so advocate, and it's already part of our culture. It's already ingrained in our culture. Stoner culture is implicitly white and implicitly Western. It's already there. When Jack in the Box is making stoner commercials, and you have Adult Swim running ads and TV shows that are pretty much made for people stoned out of their mind, what is the fucking harm? Oh man.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's actually for most people, it's a safer substance than alcohol anyway. It does harm to your body, sure, but probably much less than alcohol does. And the thing is, even the person that's next to you in the pew that you think was so perfect and goody two shoes, I guarantee you they're probably smoking pot. That's how ingrained it is. I don't either. I absolutely did when I was younger. I don't anymore. And some people it makes lazy. Some people I found it does not. Actually, I've known a couple people in my life that it actually makes them more productive. I actually know a couple people that it's kept them from having to take antidepressants like Prozac and whatnot. So it's been beneficial to some people. Go ahead. Why not? I think this is also a good way to get some of those people that went left that maybe used to be center right, to kind of maybe get some of them back on the right side of things. It's a way to kind of play to that, because I guarantee there's a lot of stoners out there that will vote for a president just because they made marijuana legal. So I guarantee.
Yeah, well, I mean, exactly. That was going to be my next question: is do you think that the Trump administration is going to be the administration to do it? Because Sessions said this is Trump's administration, then Trump is going to do what he wants. Sessions, as the Attorney General, is going to be there to enforce exactly that. He enforces the laws.
Sure.
He doesn't create them. He just enforces them. And I think we are socially at a point where marijuana is just considered not that big of a deal. There's so many movies about Grandma's Boy is one of my favorite movies. It's all about pot.
Yeah.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. It's all about pot.
Yeah.
All of these things. It's so ingrained in our culture that marijuana is a thing that people do, and it's everywhere. But for some reason, it is still ruining lives, especially within the black community. I think that's fucking especially terrible.
Oh well, yeah, no. So there's certain groups, there's certain communities that are definitely prone to the bad aspects of it. But
I just don't want them to go to jail. I mean, that's the thing.
Well,
I don't want them to end up going to jail. I mean, if you are pushing cannabis, then I agree it's a gateway drug. But alcohol is a great gateway drug more so than marijuana is.
Absolutely.
I think we need to legalize marijuana, and we need to do it immediately because especially minority communities are suffering from the harsh penalties of it in many of these states that we have.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to end up happening. And I do think he might be the one that legalizes it, and it's going to be a smart move. And I think he's probably not going to do it right away. He's probably going to wait right before re-election if he's smart. But I think that's the conclusion that they're going to end up coming to, with Ben Carson being the head of Department of Urban Development and all that, working with the minority communities and urban development and whatnot. I think they're going to come to the conclusion that it's actually going to be beneficial to those communities as well. And that's how I think it's going to go down. And obviously Ben Carson is not, someone that is going to be token up. But, I think
Ben Carson's stoned all the time. Have you ever seen that guy?
The Bay Sleepy Doctor. Yeah, I know. No, I think, if Trump's smart, he'll do it right before re-election, and then that'll guarantee his re-election. That'll guarantee.
So you think he's gonna do it as a political move? You think?
I do think he's going to. Well, I don't think he's going to publicize it as a political move, but I think knowing Trump and how he does things, I think that's what the ultimate goal will be. So
your prediction is
the freedom of it.
Your prediction is that in 4 years, marijuana will be federally legal.
I would not surprise me. I'm not going to predict it. I'm going to say it would not surprise me.
That's that wouldn't surprise me much either. It's the states that have already done it, like Washington. They got $1 billion in revenue last year from just marijuana sales.
Colorado's doing really well.
Medical is legal in 29 states. I mean, we might as well make it a lot recreational, like Colorado, California, apparently Maine, Alaska, things like that. Nevada, all of that, it's recreationally legal. Washington, D.C., it's apparently recreationally legal as well. I mean, it seems like we're moving towards that path. Yeah, I didn't know it was this many states, to be honest with you, because, again, I don't smoke pot. But I like the idea of him using it as a political ploy to get reelected.
Let me be clear, though. I think that's his. I think he believes in the freedom. The states' rights, and that's the way. I think he believes in it as a freedom type of thing. But I think he's going to use it as a double whammy. He believes that it should be legalized, but he's also going to use it as a politically to get reelected.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he said during the campaign, that he was like, leave it up to the states, and he likes medical marijuana because it does help people. It does. It helps with anxiety. It helps with cancer patients and stuff like that as far as alleviating pain. But, when somebody's like, oh, it helps with my depression, and it's like, you know what else does? Getting drunk, bro. Drugs, they're pretty awesome for depression. It's like, I was really depressed, and then I started smoking pot, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, pot makes me laugh too, You know, like I don't.
But
like,
alcohol is actually a downer, though.
Yeah, but I mean.
But in the moment,
that's kind of a myth. That's kind of a myth.
Well, you know how I think it is.
I think depressed.
I think everyone has the right drug for them. That's what I think. Some people it's alcohol and it works for them. It doesn't make them depressed. It makes them happy. Whatever. Some people it's pot. Some people, you know what I mean. I think everyone has that one thing that works for them. Does that make sense?
No, it absolutely makes sense. I think that it is ridiculous that in the current year we are still having this marijuana argument. But I think that if Trump is the guy and his administration does make marijuana, recreationally legal, he's already brought over a lot of lefties to his side that came and voted for him. If he were to do that, I mean, that's a huge thing. I think that
do you think it guarantees his re-election?
I think it would guarantee his re-election. And then Donald Trump is the guy that made pot legal, and all the lefties are going to love him because it's like, either one, he's the guy that made pot legal, so I'm going to vote for him again, or in the first place, or whatever, or they have nothing left to vote for, so they're like, shit. Like, High Times will go out of business. There's no reason for them to exist once pot's legal.
I just had a thought, though. Wouldn't that be funny if, because Obama was so worried about his legacy, that's just non-existent now. Wouldn't it be funny if Donald Trump, of all people, would be the one that actually left a lasting historical legacy for something like legalizing marijuana? That would just be a slap on Obama's face, more egg on his face.
I guarantee Donald Trump, before he even did anything, already left a legacy by totally just confounding the entire world on everyone. The media was against him. His own party was against him. The left was against him. There was so much BS, and nobody thought he could ever win. And he won. So even if it goes terribly, it's still going in the history books as the time that everyone, except a few of us, were, totally wrong. I mean, and I even thought, towards the end, I was like, there's no freaking way he's going to win.
I told you he was going to. I told you.
I know. You did
You were very black pilled then, and I was trying to red pill everybody, because everyone was so like, oh, it's over. I'm like, how can you say that? We're like right here at the end. This is the finish line. We knew there was going to be, psyops against us. Everyone was going to say he wasn't going to win. The mainstream media was going to make it look like he was going to win. We knew this. You just had to play it through, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, yeah. I mean, you were right. Whatever. I ended up being right to several, but I mean, it was great. It's great. I'm glad that it happened. But it's going to be interesting, and I think legalizing marijuana will be a big staple if he gets around to it. But this I really, really thought was, I want to say hilarious, but it wasn't hilarious. It's this Black Lives Matter protester. We've got a clip of this here.
We will not support any discrimination. Thank you.
Honestly, fuck white supremacy, fuck the U.S. empire, fuck your imperialist ass flag. That shit gotta go. Fuck that shit. You know what America thrives off of? Capitalism. We use our motherfucking black and brown bodies to live and survive while white people own fucking properties after that. Yeah, they're all poor white people, right? But black and brown people are affected by all of the shit around us. And capitalism is one of them. So you know what we need to do? We need to start giving fucking money. White people, give your fucking money, your fucking house, your fucking property. We need it fucking all. You need to reparate black and indigenous people right now. Pay the fuck up. Pay the fuck up. It ain't just your fucking time, it's your fucking money, and your fucking life is now devoted to social change. Right? Yeah. I'm tired of y'all also complaining about you don't have time. Well, we don't have fucking time either. You know what I mean? We have fucking classes. Some of us are working 40 fucking hours. You know? 40 fucking hours and juggling fucking different classes for under white supremacy. We're all operating under white supremacy, just so you know. And we need to start killing people. First off, we need to start killing the White House. The White House must die. The White House, your fucking White House, your fucking president, they must go. Fuck the White House. Fuck the White House and fuck your voting. I'm with her, Donald Trump. I don't give a fuck. Because you know what? Obama deported so many fucking people, but y'all still are fixated on voting for a fucking president. Capitalism. Capitalism is what it's fucking racism. You know? Prison, private fucking prison. You shot that whole thing, you're fucking supporting private prison laborers. I don't give a fuck about your organic shit if you're not growing it yourself. And you know what? Don't talk about poor fucking brown communities who don't have the motherfucking time to grow it. White people grow it, bring it to the fucking black and brown community so that we can fucking have healthy food shit too. Okay? I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. I'm fucking sick. And you know what? I am a preschool teacher who's gonna fucking radicalize motherfucking Cop cars gotta go. Teach your kids to throw that fucking cop car in the garbage. That shit has got to go. That shit has got to go. Fuck all that shit. And fuck your respectability. Fuck you side-eyeing motherfuckers, because I know you're fucking in the back of your fucking head. Y'all still got shit to dismantle. Whether it's your motherfucking patriarchy, your motherfucking anti-blackness, anti-queerness, anti-transphobic, not recognizing that black and brown, trans, queer, women, and femmes and non-binary people have motherfucking led the fucking way. So kiss their motherfucking feet and give them your fucking money and walk the fuck away after. From me, because I ain't trying to fucking talk to you.
Do you want to talk about this? Is she trying to speak?
Okay, John, I'm going to let you lead this one off because it's too great, and the rest of the hour is going to be me dissecting why this person said those things and why they went on, because it's clearly an idiot that they just gave a megaphone to. If you listen to her speaking, she clearly has no idea what the next thing that's going to come out of her mouth is going to be. But, John, please fucking lead this one off because it's goddamn juicy.
Oh, God, where do I even begin? This is the typical reason why the alt-right became a thing. This is the typical reason why Donald Trump is now our president. All the leftists that keep saying, how did this happen? How did we get Donald Trump? How did we create this alt-right? This is why, because you guys are it's just, and then she says, I'm a respectable teacher. Nothing she said was respectable. She used the F word like a billion times, okay? I don't want her teaching my kids. I hope she gets fired. It's just ridiculous. It's typical of what you would see.
Well, hold on. What was your favorite part? Was it when she said, kill all the white people or give me all of your money? Which was the one that...
The one that was the worst?
Hit you better.
I would say... Kill all the white people was probably more scandalous. I think. I don't know. But this is pure racism. Pure racism against whites. 100% pure racism. Anyone that can tell me that's not racist they're ridiculous. like that's pure racism, and that's what we've been trying to tell people. This is going on. This is real, and the left keeps trying to say, no, it's not really going on. We just want what is earned. What we just want what everyone else has. That's not true.
But the thing is, she didn't even say like, oh, I want to earn this. It was, you need to give me your money, your house, your everything. I don't care. I don't care that you try to do the best. It's like what we saw at the DNC forum in Collar. Was that one lady who's running for the chairmanship. It was just like, it's my job to shut down white people and all of that. Like, I mean, the thing is, this is something I try to drive home to everyone that doesn't, agree with me. Is like, first of all, you don't have to agree with me. I already know that I'm right. It's only going to take a matter of time before you come around to my way of thinking. It is only natural. It has been this way since the dawn of time. You will come around to my way of thinking. It's just what is going to red pill you. And if you don't want me to do it, somebody else will, and it might not be the best way. But it's that the essence of her argument is Gibbs me dead. That's her whole thing. And even the white people, if you guys watch the video, because we obviously just heard the audio. If you watch the video, there's a lot of white people there. Many look uncomfortable, but many are also nodding. And it's like, holy crap! No person, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, of any type, should be made to feel bad about their race ever.
Yeah.
Like, that's because you can't change that. It's not an elective identity. But, nobody should be made to feel bad about their race. But the left has put this whole goddamn thing in, saying, you need to feel bad about being black, or feel good about being black, but feel bad about being white. Like, it's so much better that you are black. Like, personal experience, I know a guy that's struggling with the fact that he's white, and that upsets the crap out of me because it's like, why? And he's distraught over it, and it breaks my heart. But when you've got that person getting cheered who has no idea what they're talking about, she is stumbling through words. She has no idea. I'm a teacher. It's like, well, clearly at a very low level. Like, you can hardly read, you average IQ 85 idiot. Oh, I'm sure she is, dude. They're at a protest. They're parties these days. But she's a moron, and everybody cheers her on and says that this is fine because she is black. And I am okay with people that are proud of being black. You should be. If you are of African descent, you should be proud. Look into your heritage. Don't make up this We Was Kings bullshit, but look into your heritage and be proud of what it is and what had to happen for your people and you to exist right now. Because for just the longest time, it took people making the right decisions and surviving and meeting and falling in love or whatnot to get to where you are now. And that is amazing. Like, that is amazing and beautiful. That is a story. That is identity. But when you rob someone of that, like the left is trying to do to European Americans, that is unfair. And when we celebrate when someone is screaming, we need to start killing people, we need to kill the White House, this and that, and it's give your money, give your house to us for nothing. That is when we've got a fucking problem. And the problem isn't white supremacy. Because guess what? I'm on the alt-right. I'm pretty hardcore into the alt-right. I know a lot of people that would probably scare the crap out of this audience. None of them are white supremacists. They are racist, but that's even kind of a made-up term. So
some people on
that lady,
some of our listeners
that lady is shitty.
So. No, absolutely. You could have said that better, by the way. That's probably about as emotional I've ever seen you get on a show. You should be pissed off. You should be emotional about it because you're absolutely right. She is trying to rob, and people like her are trying to rob the identity of another race. They're trying to rob them of their identity. denying them of that identity. Have your own identity. Be proud of your identity. But the
celebration of like the cheering and clapping, and the celebration of the calls for violence are really what gets me, and that is something that is changing. This is something that's becoming more and more a pattern. Or the left are consistently calling for violence and celebrating it when it happens, and we can't not have that. If they want discourse, I'm willing to bance them off the street, dude. I'm way funnier than they are. I guarantee it. I have read way more books. I'm way funnier. But the thing is, if you want to fight, that's not a conversation we're going to want to have, because our guys are the guys with the guns.
This is true, but just calm down for a brief moment now. All right, we've won this, and here's the thing: we've tried to tell people 8 years ago that this is what 4/8 years of Barack Obama would do to race relations. We tried to tell them then, and now
they're going to call you a racist, though. I mean, I didn't think Barack Obama was going to be bad for race relations, and. 2008. Honestly, I didn't think he would. I was like, all right, whatever. He's black. I don't like him. He's a liberal. I like the Tea Party, and they're cool. But by 2012, I was like, holy shit, this is getting bad, because everybody got. I like using the term on purpose, so whatever. Send emails, but uppity. About the whole thing, and it was like, we president now, and it's like, well, not forever, dumbass. Like, you got to get somebody else elected here at the end of 4 years. And the thing is, Hillary Clinton lost because not only was she a corrupt piece of shit, but those things her proposals did not resonate with most of America. Everybody was just too scared to not say that they liked Barack Obama because he is black. And he has done all the shit. Like, you never saw Jimmy Carter get on fucking TV and say, oh, this guy could have been my son. No, he shoved this cultural Marxist, anti-white, anti-police rhetoric down our throats to the point that even some of our own cucks are just eating it up, and they believe in it. And then when she does a speech like that, and I see white people nodding, it's like, dude, you hate yourself? Baked Alaska did a Periscope stream over the other day on Hollywood Boulevard where this guy who looks like goddamn Peter Griffin straight up said he hates himself and he hates white people. But this is the rhetoric that is allowed. If I were to go out there and say the same thing, black people, give me back my land, give me back this, you don't deserve that, I would be on the fucking news and labeled a horrible racist. And this is the type of shit that we just cannot let happen anymore. It's this is what happens when they lose the culture war. For the longest time, it didn't matter if they lost elections. It did not matter because they still have the culture. And the thing is, they don't have the culture now. So people look at that video, and the majority of them say, what a crazy, dumb bitch. They're not saying what a crazy, dumb nigger. They don't care about her race. They just care that she really is a fucking racist bitch. So if anybody is racist, I'm going to say it's the left. But the thing is, I don't think racism is a real thing because it's a silly term because nobody identifies as it.
Just because no one identifies as it doesn't exactly mean it's not real. I mean, when you're calling
it's a term made up by you know where that term comes from, right? It's made up by Leon Trotsky.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. It's not a real term. Nobody self-identifies as a racist. It's a way to shut down arguments.
Of course no one does. Of course
it's a way to shut down arguments. People identify as a Nazi.
But no, of course not. But of course that doesn't mean that the word itself doesn't exist as a descriptor, as an adjective.
It's not a real thing.
You guys have a caller on the line.
All right, caller on the line. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's Gucci?
Oh, shit. What's up, Yankee? How's it going? Glad you're here to calm me down. I was in the middle of a rant.
Yeah, I noticed. No, I'm calling as someone who actually used to march with Black Lives Matter. I'm that white enabler chick, the former feminist.
Well, did you catch the clip? Did you hear the thing? I mean, have you seen the clip of that lady? She's like, we need to start killing people.
Yeah, it's definitely escalated in the past couple of years. Basically, what's happening is this isn't happening in a vacuum. They're being fed a narrative over and over again, and part of it's that anti-capitalist rhetoric is being pushed in not just college now, but high school as well, to push their agenda, and they're using cultural Marxism to do this, trying to tell them they as minorities are disadvantaged and that they should rise up against the majority and to overthrow capitalism in the meantime.
Well, that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying for the longest time. It's like this whole race thing is like okay, before Marxism and communism really came about, people understood the difference between race. But then Marxism came along, the commie bullshit came along with like Stalin and everything, and they started to deny that. If you look at Trotskyism and things like that, it started to deny that and push that there was no difference. Now, supremacy comes from that, which is, not a good thing. If you think your race is better than anybody else's, I think you're a piece of shit. Which means, like, I have Bryden supremacy. Bryden Proctor is better than everybody else. But they are doing that, pushing the race thing so that they can push an economic agenda. And their whole idea
what they're doing
is an economic agenda.
They're inciting hatred in minorities. What they're doing when they call you a racist is they have identified you as the enemy, and you are now persona non grata. So it's okay to issue violence against you now because you're no longer human in their eyes. This is a way of giving them the basically moral permission to act against you on their behalf.
No. See, the thing is, they're supposed to be tolerant and loving people, right? I thought they were tolerant and loving. That's what the left always says. Where's the tolerance? Where's the love?
Well, those are other rhetoric. Those are other rhetoric fucking buzzwords when they say, like, oh, we're tolerant, diversity, multiculturalism, love, things like that. And it's like, no, you love when somebody agrees with you. You love getting Gibbs me dats. That's what you love. You don't love me. You don't love me. Come on, if they loved me, I would not have a problem walking down the street. I walked around all day today in a Make America Great Again T-shirt, and I got so many fucking dirty looks. I threw up a goddamn Roman salute in the middle of a cafe today because I was making a joke. That, I was actually with a Jew at the time.
How dare you?
Having lunch.
Literal Hitler.
And like people were looking at me like I was nuts. And the thing is, it's like, shut up, faggot. It's a joke. Calm down. They don't love anything. They don't love anything. That's a bunch of lies. These are buzzwords and rhetoric to them.
No,
they are not tolerant. If anything, the alt-right is tolerant. We are tolerant of people and the fact that you have a right to exist, but exist away from us.
They don't even want us to exist. The other side doesn't even want to. Just a perfect example. If they were tolerant and loving and all that, I wouldn't have lost a friend this week just because I decided that I was going to boycott Starbucks. As stupid and gay as boycotting Starbucks is, you don't have to say, Bryden. But
yeah, no,
they said
that
I was being mean. I was being mean and intolerant. And I was like, wait a minute, you're the one being mean and intolerant.
Yeah, I lost a friend too when I brought up the BLM kidnapping. Like, suddenly I was talking about race, and oh no, that's bad. How dare you? Like, I don't want to be a part of this. And they just quit.
Wow.
Quit. Yeah.
Well, it's annoying because like they seem to be allowed to do these things. And when we do it, not like kidnappings or like calling for the extermination of an entire race, which we don't do. I just want to, for the record, we don't do that.
Nor do we try to shut down the right to free speech.
Right. It's like if somebody was having a commie talk downtown, tomorrow, I might go and check it out just to kind of take a look at the fucking freak show of what they are. But
I would too.
They can have their thing, There was in one of my Facebook groups, somebody posted this thing, I think it was in Austria, some nationalist group broke into this commune type of thing. And like one of the guys, they like tied them up and beat them with belts, and it was like, and smashed all their shit. I was like, well, I would be kind of okay with their message, but like don't tie people up and beat them with belts. That's like really shitty. Like just don't do that. And I understand when people say,
we can no longer try to take the higher road because we've just been nobly losing for a long time. But that just means calling someone a faggot. Like, don't go break their shit or beat them. But if it comes to that, I think we are being given no other choice. There was a great Red Panel. If anybody's not familiar with redpanels.com, go over there. It's a nice little comic. One of them was, this person behind a fence, and the guy said, well, we didn't really want to put anybody in camps, but, they just pushed it too hard. And
But they kept
true.
punishing us.
Yeah, I mean, like, stop doing it. Like, we're trying to be civil and have discourse with you, which leads me to Yankee. Go ahead and stick with us through this next segment. It's science says leftists, not conservatives, are psychotic. A political science journal that published the oft-cited study claiming conservatives were more likely to show traits of, quote, psychoticism, now says it got it wrong. Very wrong. The American Journal of Science published a correction this year saying that in the 2012 paper it has an error, and that leftist political beliefs, not conservative ones, are actually linked to psychoticism. The interpretation of the coding of the political attitude items in the descriptive and preliminary analysis portion of the manuscript was exactly reversed. The journal said in a startling correction there. So basically, I mean, you're starting to get it. The descriptive analysis report that those higher in some bullshit I can't even read. Anyway, okay, look, I'm not even going to read through this whole thing. But the point is, as we all know, the left are mentally ill. The left are mentally fucking ill. This is exactly what we're talking about. So part of me says, fuck that, steep to their level. But we can't do that. But they are mentally fucking ill, legitimately.
That's because in order to push a leftist narrative, you have to be able to subvert the society. And you can't do that if you help them mentally. So all you do is you enable their vices, which will include not just mental illness, but personality disorders as well. Borderline personality disorder is pretty prevalent. From what I've seen just here at my own university, it's not about correcting someone's behavior that is obviously destructive. What they do is they say, oh, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but, that's okay. We're tolerant here, and we respect your decision. But, here's some medication for you to make you feel better. And then that medication is totally what they don't need, or they get usually what a lot of people have is they experience anxiety. So they're prescribed benzodiazepines, which if you don't need that, basically it erases all fear, which erases really any kind of judgment. Like you never get that, maybe I shouldn't do this.
I lost an entire summer. Benzos are really, really fun because they do erase all fear.
Yeah,
so your whole life is fine. I lost an entire summer to benzos. They can ruin your life, but they do make you a zombie.
I've been on them before as well.
I was a total zombie. Yeah, I was a total zombie.
I've been on them before as well. It's not good stuff. I'm on.
No, it's amazing stuff. Please, if anybody has any,
for
email
fun,
me.
For fun, For fun, yes.
But
you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, well, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. Please email me and then send me a lot of them because that. I mean, they're awesome. I'll do a show just totally fucking loaded, dude.
We're not doing this.
For the record, I don't condone this.
Well, I condone this entirely. I know it's not trad, but seriously, email me, Bryden@arcmedia.org. Holy crap.
No.
Just send me benzos.
These are not the views of arcmedia.org or southbeachtimes.com.
I'm the president. They are the views of Arc Media, is that Bryden should be loaded as crap, all the time.
Hey, don't drag me into this.
Yeah, those are the views of Arc Media, is that Bryden should be totally loaded and for free constantly.
Oh, you're almost anyway on alcohol. No, but I have a couple things to say here, though. Number one, I hope you weren't getting rocks thrown at you from a leftist I heard there in the background.
Oh no.
That was just kind of odd timing. No, I know that was a child or something, but I thought that was perfect timing. No, just a case scenario on this thing. I posted a thing on my Facebook about how science says leftists are not conservatives are psychotic. In fact, this is how I think I got into our show notes for today because me and Andrew were talking about it. I posted this on my Facebook, and it was literally having people on the left, either the normal ones that Bryden, you see it, that normally attack me for saying things, either they were non-existent, or I had the ones that thought they're so smart, like trying to figure out how the hell they could combat this. And someone's like, well, I don't know if this is true, or, well, it really said this, and like, you should read it. They were just scrambling to try to make it sound like, no, it's not leftists that are psychotic. But we all know they're psychotic. We don't have to get into the nitty-gritty of the drugs that they take.
Anybody that's going to put on a dress and go, I'm a girl, it's like, yeah, maybe on Halloween, but,
Well, that's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, that's the big Adam's apple you've got there, right?
That's
yeah, it's like your hairy ass legs,
We don't need this paper to tell us. We don't need any of this. We don't need the psychologist to tell us. We already knew this. We already know this. We already see it every day. If people would just wake up and open their damn eyes and stop taking the drugs and look for their damn selves, common sense will tell them that these people are not right. They are just not right in the head. Just plain and simply, they're retards. Like, there's something wrong with them. And I think psychology
something
can help
we
them.
can all suffer. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think psychology could probably help them if we could identify the issue and call it what it is. Like we need to identify radical Islamic terrorism, like Obama didn't. Once you identify it, then you can work on a way to cure it or a way to overcome that. And the psychology community needs to do that. They need to identify it as a true mental disorder, and then they can work on a way to combat it.
To
be honest,
we're not of Abrahamic persuasion.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to drop a bunch of fucking red pills here on Unpopular Popularity. Now, the reason liberalism exists is because of European Americans and European people. Classical liberalism is one thing which clearly just believes in more liberty, but modern leftism is actually a mental illness. But that comes from most of the people that most of the people that are pushing that, you're going to notice, are white women. Okay, and that's because of natural altruism. It's a natural altruism that we as Europeans have because when we evolved, we're a K-selected subspecies. As far as our breeding patterns go, we're snow pushers, man. Like, every white person is a snow pusher, which is really a slur that I think that needs to be picked up by the left. I love the idea of like calling us snow pushers because it's really funny. Bird shit was my favorite before that, but snow pusher is good. The reason the reason we are like that, and we are a case-selected breeding pattern, people, and where our natural altruism comes from, is because it was fucking cold out. So it was like, all right, let me have one kid, and please, everybody, make sure it survives. So that's where liberalism comes from, as far as whites go. But when you're dealing with women, they are naturally more nurturing. So once we gave them the ability to vote, which I totally disagree with, we need to repeal the 19th, even though 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump. And
Bryden, you got another caller.
All right, it's caller. What's going on?
Oh, you're right there, guys. I just heard about
this.
Hey,
Ayla,
thought I'd check it out.
It's Mr.
Ayla came in at the right
Sussex
time
himself.
to talk about altruism and why, because I'm going to have to kick everybody off here in about 10 minutes, but Ayla came in at the right time to accurately explain everything I was going to say. Ayla knows all about it, about why white women push liberalism. Please, Ayla, go.
Please tell us. Educate.
I think it goes back to the Ice Age and possibly before, where one had to essentially have these altruistic tendencies in order to survive. So there was evolutionary pressures put on that directional selection and whatnot. Yeah. That was kind of a dry
I feel like I'm being
answer, wasn't it?
psychoanalyzed.
I expected something a little bit more long-winded from you, Ayla.
Well, I suppose with women in general, though, there's there is this sort of shacking up with the conqueror vibe, which doesn't really go along so well with their altruism. Whereas where their altruism fails, they've evolved to, adapt in a way that men can't really. I suppose at the end of the day.
I disagree. I feel like it's just that their altruism extends to the conqueror.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah. Here's
Hello. Did we all get dropped?
Everybody's here. He just hung up.
we're going to move on to the next thing. If you're around, don't hang up. If you are, please stay on. But this one I thought was really funny. Was the Budweiser ad. Budweiser, of all things, a failing company, by the way, is trying to make a political statement over here with their Super Bowl commercial. Now, first and foremost, I think that it is strange that we are getting previews, guys. We're getting previews of Super Bowl commercials. Like, it's become that big of an event. Before, like, people I knew, they used to just watch it for the commercials. But, like, now we're getting trailers for commercials and stuff. Capitalism may have gone too far on this, but can we run the clip on the Budweiser commercial?
You don't look like you're from around here.
Warum bist du aus Deutschland?
I want to brew a beer.
Welcome to America. You not want to hear. Go back home. Abandon ship!
Welcome to St. Louis, son. Beer for my friend, please.
Thank you. But next time, this is the beer we drink.
Eberhard Sennheiser. Dolphus Busch.
So that's the thing. Like, what a hard thing for an immigrant to come over here and create this giant thing that they're trying to push millennials to drink, but they don't. Millennials will drink Bud Light, but they don't drink Budweiser. And like Anheuser-Busch obviously owns a lot of different breweries and things like that, but they're saying it's not a political message. They're saying it's just a coincidence that it lines up with this. I think that it is a political message. All right, let's go to the panel, starting with John. What do you think?
Absolutely. Number one, I'm not panel. I'm one of the co-hosts of the show, so, just saying. No, absolutely it's political. Number one, this is the first time I can ever remember a Super Bowl commercial being viewable before the Super Bowl. It kind of, defeats the whole purpose of spending millions and millions of dollars to get a Super Bowl spot. This is unthinkable. So that alone tells you right there that it's obviously political.
But it's not. To be fair, John. To be fair, John, they're not the only people doing this. That's what I'm saying is, like, now we're getting trailers for Super Bowl ads. Like, it is a whole event. So it's not just them doing this. So you can't just blame them on that. You can't. I agree with you, but you can't blame it on that.
That's fair. But I'm saying that's how we've gotten to this point. It's political. And I think it's going to backfire on them, just like when they sold out to InBev. That backfired them, and they lost a lot of business. When this airs, come tomorrow, they're going to lose a lot of business. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Lady Gaga does anything tomorrow, the NFL is going to lose even more viewers than what they had already done this season. These people are taking things that are inherently American, like, football and whatnot, that things that used to be, I won't say right-winged, but at least Americans could do it and it wasn't a political thing, and they're making it political.
Those are the people that are drinking Budweiser. I mean, that's what's so confusing, and I want to kind of believe that it is just a coincidence, and it was just a good idea and an ad that they had for a long time, because you remember, Anheuser-Busch, I think, is trying to hedge their bets all they want, because, during the campaign, they had Budweiser said America on it. And I drank a fuck ton of that on live streams because it had America on it. America.
That was their ploy.
Was their ploy. They also still ran Bud Light ads that were, at gay weddings and stuff with Joe Rogan, or not Joe Rogan, Seth Rogen and Amy Schumer. And those flopped.
But do you know why they did that, Bryden? Do you know why they did that? Because
they were hedging their bet.
Well, Bud Light is a younger demographic. That's a millennial. Yeah. A lot of the millennials, the younger demographic is drinking Bud Light. So that's what they're going after. And the older crowd is drinking the Budweiser. But when they come out with a commercial like this, that's not specifically Bud Light or Budweiser. It's just the Anheuser-Busch Budweiser company. That's when it looks bad on them. They are hedging their bets. You're right. And it's going to fail because they have the Budweiser drinkers that are the red-blooded Americans. God bless the USA. Those are their Budweiser drinkers, and they're going to lose them. They might get some more Bud Light drinkers, but in the end, they're going to lose them as well. I think it's horrible of them to do this. I think it's horrible of any group to try to make it political. The Super Bowl. It's supposed to be a time of Americans coming together, watching the game. Fight over the teams you guys are rooting for.
Go Patriots!
It's supposed to help heal. It's supposed to, it's helped heal. It's kind of like back when they did the fights in the Roman Colosseum. It brings people together. It makes them forget about other stuff. That's what it's intended to do. But when they bring politics into it like this, it ruins the whole thing. So the fact that this is what it's coming to is just going to turn people off.
All right, fair enough. Who else is still on the call?
I think Ayla's still with us. I think
we got nobody. I don't think we got anybody left, unless Andrew knows. But it doesn't look like we have anybody left. I think you're right. I mean, unless Andrew's able to weigh in on this. I know he's trying to do a million things at once, but I know sports is kind of his realm, so I would always be interested to see what he thinks about it. I think it's kind of ridiculous.
I've already been warning several people to beware of leftist propaganda tomorrow. I don't think it's just Budweiser. I think Lady Gaga is going to do something in her show. If you don't know,
I do too.
Yeah, the cast of Hamilton is doing God Bless America before the game. I think there's going to be leftist propaganda all over the place, and I think a lot of it is going to be fueled by the NFL.
Yes, I think it's going to be funny when they all get booed on live television. Because that's what's going to happen. It's going to be, I'm going to tell you this, for the first time ever, the Super Bowl is going to become a negative event. There's going to be a riot, a protest, something's going to happen. People are going to boo. It's going to be, because you know why? They want the ratings. They want everyone to watch tomorrow. I think it's going to be funny when all these people start booing on live television.
Well, I mean, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to do because, I'm going to do my show tomorrow, probably directly after the Super Bowl, and there's going to be something to cover, I think. But it's becoming increasingly less about the game and about the commercials and about the live events. Well, let's go ahead and move on to move on to this here. As we start to close out the show with the last 22 minutes. The Trump Muslim ban. We've got something on Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire. We got a clip from him right here.
Hey, I'm Ben Shapiro with Reality Check. A couple of weeks ago, HBO's Bill Maher got into it with the Islamic expert and horrifyingly mediocre actor who should never, ever, 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 ever play Batman, Ben Affleck, over whether Islam was indeed a violent religion. Here's the exchange.
And you're painting the whole religion with that.
No. Let's get down to who has the right answer here. 1 billion people, you say. All these billion people don't hold any of these.
5 or something.
Don't hold these pernicious beliefs.
No,
I wouldn't.
Well, they don't.
Of course, he's not alone in taking the PC position that Muslims the world over are tolerant and liberal. He's joined by our president, Barack Obama.
Islam teaches peace. Muslims the world over aspire to live with dignity and a sense of justice.
Wow, it's just like John Lennon's Imagine. Now, the question isn't whether Islam itself is violent. It's what its adherents believe, because that's what they act upon. There's plenty of violent material in the Old and New Testaments. Hey, I'm an Orthodox Jew. I read the Old Testament a lot. But believers in those particular texts are not currently ramming airliners into towers or beheading journalists or mutilating female genitalia. So, let's examine the question. Is radicalism in the Muslim world a tiny minority phenomenon? So to answer that question, we need to define our terms. We're really not talking about people who are active terrorists. Radical beliefs are a lot broader than terrorists, and anybody who argues otherwise is being naive or foolish or disingenuous. But terrorists draw their moral, financial, and religious support from those who are not terrorists themselves. So, who are the radicals? Ben Affleck actually was right on this. There are approximately 1.6 billion Muslims on the planet, and they're from 49 different countries in terms of where they have a majority. All the population stats, by the way, are from Pew Research as of 2011. Indonesia is the world's most populous Muslim country. It's got almost 205 million Muslims living there. According to one 2009 poll, it showed almost 50% of Indonesians actually support strict Sharia law, not just in Indonesia, but in a lot of countries, and 70% blamed the United States, Israel, or somebody else for 9/11. So, you make that calculation, it's about 143 million people who are radicalized. You scared yet? We're just getting started. Okay, Egypt, 80 million Muslims. According to that same 2009 poll, it showed that 65% want strict Sharia law in every Islamic country, and almost 70% said that they had positive or mixed feelings about bin Laden. So that's 55.2 million more radicals. Pakistan has almost 179 million Muslims. 76%, just over three-quarters, want strict Sharia law in all Islamic countries. That is another 135.4 million radicals. Bangladesh, not a country you tend to think of as Muslim, but there are 149 million Muslims living there. As of 2013, just over a quarter said suicide bombings or targeting of civilians was sometimes justified. Another 82% want Sharia to be the official law of the country, and two-thirds said honor killings of women can sometimes be justified. Honor killings, two-thirds. It's 121.9 million radicals. Nigeria, 75.7 million Muslims live there. 71% favor Sharia law. That's 53.7 million people. Iran, 74.8 million Muslims. 83% favor implementation of Sharia law as of last year. So that's 62.1 million more radicals. Turkey has 74.7 million Muslims. And 32%, this is a moderate Muslim country, probably the most moderate Muslim country, 32% said honor killings of women could actually be justified sometimes. So that's 23.9 million radical Muslims in our moderate ally, Turkey. Morocco, 32.4 million Muslims live there. Just over three-quarters support Sharia law. That's 24.6 million radical Muslims in Morocco. Iraq, 31.1 million Muslims live there. 78% say honor killings of women can sometimes be justified. That amounts to 24.3 million Muslim radicals. Afghanistan, 24 million people. A huge majority, 76%, support at least occasionally, or just once in a while, honor killings of women. 99% actually want Sharia to be the law of the land. So it's like a Cuban election over there. 24 million radical Muslims over in Afghanistan. Jordan, smaller Muslim country, 6.4 million Muslims. Right now, Hamas is enjoying like a 60% approval rating. So 3.8 million radical Muslims in Jordan, which is, again, a moderate country. Palestinian areas, right? We're sending literally hundreds of millions of dollars to the Palestinian areas. We are, the American taxpayers. 4.3 million Muslims live in the Palestinian areas. 78% of those had positive or mixed feelings about bin Laden. 89% support terror attacks on our ally, Israel. 89% support Sharia law. We should give them a state, folks. That's 3.83 million radical Muslims. How about in the West? Okay, let's take it to France. France, 4.7 million Muslims live there. A 2007 poll showed 35% of French Muslims said suicide bombings could sometimes be justified. It's 1.6 million radical Muslims living in France. Great Britain, 2.8 million Muslims living there. 78% wanted cartoonists of Muhammad legally prosecuted. So we're talking about 2.2 million radical Muslims in Great Britain. How about here in the United States? Well, we have a very moderate Muslim population. We do. 2.6 million Muslims live here, according to Pew Research. 13% said violence against civilians can be justified. 19% said they were either favorable toward al-Qaeda or just didn't know. You know, because who knows, really? That's almost 500,000 radical Muslims here in the United States. Here is the total of the countries that we've gone through just now. 680,030,000. 680,030,000 radical Muslims. And that's out of a total population in those countries of 942.4 million Muslims total. And it seems fair to assume that similar proportions of people in countries like, say, like Algeria, Syria, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Tunisia, Somalia, and Libya are also radicalized. And if they are, then, well, we're above 800 million Muslims who are radicalized, more than half the Muslims on Earth. That's not a minority, that's now a majority, and that's still not even surveying hundreds of millions of Muslims in other countries. In other words, the myth of the tiny radical Muslim minority is just that. It's a myth. And, unfortunately, it's a myth that's going to get a lot of civilized people killed. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel or click here to give a quick donation.
Oh, my God.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm going to be honest. I didn't.
Yeah, I can only hear that fucking Jew's voice for so long, to be honest with you. But
I was thinking, man, it's like having a little bitty fly buzzing around your ear. That's what it sounds like. I cannot stand it.
He's right.
He is,
but actually, just so you know, the only reason that he cares about Muslims is because he puts Israel first before America. So, yeah, I have my problems with Ben Shapiro. I do have my problems with Ben Shapiro, but he is correct. And I claim constantly there is no such thing as the moderate Muslim. They are the ones that are watching people being thrown off the roof. They're just not throwing me off of the roof. Because as anybody knows, I'm a fag. All right? So Muslims hate me. And they want to throw me off of a fucking building. Like, they want to throw me off of a building. There is no such thing as a moderate Muslim. There's just no such thing. They're the ones that watch this happen. They just don't do it themselves. These are, I liked what he said about, the radical, radicals not actually being terrorists. Because the thing is, I'm a radical. Most people on our site are kind of fringy, people, but we're not Dylan fucking Roof. He's a terrorist and a piece of shit. Like, and I'm glad that they're gonna kill him. Fuck him. Like, don't do that. Yeah, the tactical bowl cut. I mean, he's bullshit. But the thing is, like, how many more need to die? How many more white women need to be killed and raped in Europe before you're going to say Islam is a bad fucking thing? It's not.
How many more gay and lesbians have to be thrown off the roof?
Fucking Obama did this shit. Jimmy Carter did this shit. It's not like it's a new thing. This has been a thing that people have been doing. Presidents have been doing this for a long time. But the only thing that is new, is the outrage. And the thing is, Donald Trump could seriously implement Bernie Sanders policies tomorrow, and they would still throw a fit.
Of course they would.
Bullshit. They just don't like him
because
he's a racist, white supremacist.
It's because they got everything they wanted for 8 years, and they think the only person they think Obama is their savior, and the only person that can do anything right is Obama and the ilk, and the left. That's why. So it doesn't matter what the right does.
I'm glad that they think that. I'm glad that they think that because we are going to get through these last 3 fucking stories over here. I know we've got around 13 minutes, but John, goddamn it, we're going to do it because I said this thing was going to be a shit show, and it hasn't been a shit show. It's been good. I think we've been doing great, and now this is personal to me. Cal exit.
Just to be
God
fair,
damn it.
I don't think the history of our show, Bryden, have we ever gotten through all of our topics? Don't.
We're doing it.
Okay.
We're doing it.
Okay.
We're doing it. I'm in charge. Cal exit, dude. I am going to sign the petition. I know it's going around right now, and I'm going to fucking vote for it. And then I hope that you, the rest of you Americans, will let me be an American refugee because I'm going to sign it. I hope it's going to get passed, and then I'm going to fucking leave California. I promise.
Thank God.
I'll leave. Thank
God.
I'll get out of it. Dude, they only need 85,000 fucking signatures. They're going to qualify for the 2018 ballot. Like, I mean, honestly, it's fun to LARP about it on both sides. California is not leaving, but I am going to sign it, and I'm going to vote for this shit because I would love it if we just left and I became part of America, not California.
I love it. Our listeners know that I'm Christian, so I've been praying for this to be real and really happen like every day. That's not a joke.
That is a waste of prayer. God
really
has other things to deal with.
It's not. Well, is it really going to happen? No. But I would just be so happy if we got rid of California. Like, I'm sorry, Bryden, I know you live there, but the place is just a cesspool of shit. It really is.
Oh, dude, believe me, I what do you mean? Like, I'm sorry, Bryden. Like, I have like some weird attachment to this place. I'm just here in the belly of the beast, and I just can't get out because it costs too much to leave. You know,
you were trying to tell me the day that
leave.
You're trying to tell me today, though, that not all parts of California, are horrible and bad. And,
those are the people that are leading the fight. It's like San Diego, San Francisco, and Los Angeles that are like trying to get all these things. It's never going to pass. The majority of California, if you look at it, is a big fucking state, and it's mostly farmland, and they hate the left. They don't like it.
Yeah.
But we have a couple huge. We've got like the second and I believe fourth biggest city in the fucking country. The second being Los Angeles, and I believe it is the fourth. I may be wrong. Is San Francisco, and San Francisco is even more pause than Los Angeles. Like
I get
we just have a lot of urbanites, dude. So we swing left because of that. But if you look at our local government, if you look at our state government, it is just these pause cities that are leaning left. The rest of them are just as right as everyone else.
How can you say your state government is not liberal?
No. Like our, state senators and state congressmen and stuff. Yeah, I mean, we got a ton of liberals. But you're forgetting about the whole middle ground. Like,
I mean, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Jerry Brown, yeah, I know. It's Jerry Brown. We haven't had a good governor for a while. But, that's just kind of the way it leans. But I'm saying there are good right-leaning people in California.
I'm sure. I assume
we're overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed with these lefties.
Some are good people, and we'll let them come in legally. Okay, we'll build a great, beautiful wall, and we'll let them come in legally. There'll be a beautiful door for the, some that I assume are good people will be able to come in. But
that's the problem. Is like San Francisco. Obviously, the mayor of San Francisco is now saying that he's going to file a lawsuit against, the fucking U.S. government, saying we're going to remain a sanctuary city. My mayor, Garcetti, Mayor Snowflake, Mr. Mayor Yoga Pants himself, is saying we are going to remain a sanctuary city. That is bullshit. But you know what else is saying they're going to be a sanctuary city up until the point that they go, holy shit, Donald Trump's president, I need to accept it.
Yeah.
Miami-Dade is the first domino to fall in here. Thursday, Miami-Dade County became the country's first jurisdiction to abandon its sanctuary city policy in response to the executive order issued by Donald Trump. Miami-Dade County's Mayor Carlos Taco, because I can't pronounce his last name, ordered county officials to comply with detainer requests from the Department of Homeland Security, which asks local law enforcement to jail suspects without warrant until they are picked up by federal immigration police. Now, LAPD is not going to do this yet. My mayor, Garcetti, says that LAPD will continue to enforce Special Order 40, the Gates-signed directive that bars officers from contacting someone solely to determine their immigration status, and they will defy Trump's order, and they will lose federal funding. I am okay with this.
And the city cannot survive without it. LA cannot survive without federal funding.
San Francisco is going to do much worse than Los Angeles.
But none of them can survive without
we get $500 million. I think San Francisco gets around $1.5 billion.
Yeah, they're damn programs.
Federal funding.
Damn social programs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They can't survive without it.
Well, they're absolutely not going to be able to survive without it. I mean, my favorite part of this whole thing is once LA, bends the knee, they're going to bend at the knee. They're going to do it. They're going to,
Sure they are.
Going to be fine. Traffic is going to be so much lighter. I can't wait for it because recently here in Los Angeles we had, and they were doing it just for this. Street vendors, like people that make like tamales and sell them on the street, or have sausages wrapped in bacon that they literally cook in a shopping cart, wrapped in aluminum foil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that
it's good
which
stuff,
you
though.
should have a license for that.
You should.
Here, because there's like a million reasons why you should have a license for that. But here they are making it so no longer will they arrest those people, and they're doing it solely because they don't want to deal with the whole immigration issue and the illegals that are doing this.
Oh, so let's let everyone get salmonella and die.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thing. It's like I've never bought any of that food off the street because I'm like, seriously.
Here that we have them here as well, but they have to be licensed and they get inspected, right? They get surprise inspections when they're out and about, and they have to display their license on their cart. Otherwise, they don't get it for that very reason.
Well, no, these are straight up. They're not even most of the time food carts. They are shopping carts lined with aluminum foil where they start a small fire with charcoal. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And they put a stop to busting those people for not having permits because of this Donald Trump shit. It's like my city is going absolutely out of their way to protect illegal immigrants. And the thing is, they're going to have to bend the knee. Garcetti, he can talk a big fucking game. What's his face over in San Francisco can talk a big fucking game. But the thing is, you will bend the knee. You will be part of this. This is unfortunate for you that you believe something that's retarded, but you are going to do it because we've been doing it your way for way too long. And it wasn't just Obama. It was through W, and it was through Clinton. And the thing is, now we president. We president now.
Yes, we are.
They're not going to like what's coming, John. They're not going to like what's coming.
I know, Bryden.
We are coming.
But I hate to tell you, Bryden.
And you know what? I am borderline coming because I'm hard as fuck. And over the past, several few days, holy crap! You might as well just fucking. You might as well just you might as well just fucking line me up to be a donor.
Oh no, I know it's great.
For some
it's great.
sperm.
No, absolutely. All of us are the same way. But I hate to tell you this, Bryden. We're coming to the part of the show where we had to say our goodbyes, which means we didn't make it.
No, we did. I never was going to do the last one.
Oh, well, fair enough then. Well, now we need to plug our shit then.
Yeah. You can check me out. Hopefully you guys liked the show. I mean, I was just coming in blind.
Not our typical
Andrew
EP,
will be
not
back.
Typical.
Andrew will be back next week. John will obviously be back next week. But you can go to arcmedia.org and check me out on Right to Bryden, which is youtube.com/Right to Bryden, BRYDEN. Please go and check out southbeachtimes.com for all kinds of less extremist, less, hateful things. It's been fun for the last 2 hours, guys. Here, John, your turn.
Yeah, no, same thing. Bryden, you've been great. Thank you for being our host this week. I definitely appreciate you coming in and doing this for us last minute. I'm on arcmedia.org as well. I'm John. As you know, I'm Vice President at arcmedia.org. I am something at southbeachtimes.com webmaster, which has been kind of fallen to the wayside because of Arcmedia's launch. But southbeachtimes.com, arcmedia.org. You can find all the shows on Popular Popularities on both. Find us all on there. Thank you all for listening. We love you guys.
Yeah, now we have like 2 minutes.
to Unpopular Popularity with Andrew Powell, John Stutsman, and Kelvin Bradley here on SouthBeachTowns.com.
Stay metal like a fucking metal dog. Better play smart before you get eaten by sharks, nigga. Into the game, know what's up. Little bit of fame, little bit of drugs. Shorty see the chain, same night in the guts. We don't play you, that's us fucking sensei. Accent stays in your memory mentally every day for the music justice.
Hello, beautiful winter people. I see you all huddled up, and I weep. But I have good news. Imagine being transported to a tropical paradise with white sands and blue waters. Are you ready to feel the heat? It's en fuego.
Scratch away with Hoosier Lottery Scratch-Offs, like our newest game, Some Like It Hot. It's the feeling of a warm, sunny beach for just $2. You could win up to $15,000. Hoosier Lottery. Imagine that. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly. Visit HoosierLottery.com for more.